you do kind of wonder with a lot of these people. I mean, you have to think Ellen, you have to think Rosie. The old versions of them were the nicest, saccharine, sweetest people on the planet. It was all part of a campaign to get you to not know what was actually going on in their heart. And I believe whenever I see people act super saccharine sweet, it's always overcompensation for them actually being a bitch and knowing it. And
It's so true.
I have this theory, which is Bill Maher, like I say a lot of douchey things and half the people think I'm a racist asshole, but I wouldn't do it if I felt like I was that way. I would have to overcompensate and be sweet and be nice.
Yes.
You know, people tell me all the time, you're such a racist. I go, if I was a racist, I wouldn't make so many racist jokes because I wouldn't want people to be on to me. So you should look at everything through the lens of Ellen, who started every show by dancing, or Rosie, who had the cutie patootie chub club, and she loved Tom Cruise and she loved the Muppets. Inside were both raging bitches. And anyone who worked for them, and I knew people who worked for them, would tell you stories about how bad they both were soon as the cameras and the lights shut off. Like they were the worst.
You were not allowed to look Ellen in the eye if you were on her production staff.
Yeah.
This came directly from somebody who worked for Ellen to this person's relative, blood relative, who I knew.
Yes.
You could not make eye contact with the queen as you walked by her. And you were working for her. I mean, this is like her staff who she's chosen, whose job it is to help her and make her look good. You're like, okay, maybe this is ridiculous, but let's say the rule is don't talk to her when you walk by her in the hallway. Okay, maybe you could give that to her. She's like in the zone. She's thinking about what she's going to say when she goes out there. She's got to be funny. You can't make eye contact with her. She's a monster.
Yes. Letterman's staff was scared of him. Rosie's staff was scared of her. Ellen's staff was scared of her. You can judge by the staff. Do the people who work for you, are they scared? And by the way, when you show up to a show to do the show, and I did, you can tell immediately when people are scared. You don't get that. When you show up to do the Tonight Show with Leno, everyone was relaxed. When you show up to do Kimmel, everyone was relaxed. You can show up and you can tell the staff that's scared. They're tense and they're scared. Yeah. And Ellen's staff was scared shitless when I showed up to do it, X amount of years ago. Like I noted how scared everyone was. And this is 15 years ago. So you have to wonder about the people who are putting on the act. Like, oh, I'm so nice. I'm so regular. I love friends. I love making new friends. Oh, where are the little people? Oh, there's Manuel, the gardener. I'm going to go be super nice to the little people that are here working and stuff like that. I don't trust them at all. I believe someone like you are who you are. Like here's the whole thing. You can agree or disagree with Bill Maher. Bill Maher's Bill Maher. That's who Bill Maher is. Like I've talked to Bill Maher at a party, and Bill like came up to me and he's like, "You have kids?" And I go, "Yeah, I got twins." And he's like, "Man, that's a bummer." And I said, "No, I like my kids, Bill." And he goes, "I bet you do." And I was like, "All right, that's Bill. That's who he is." He's
no, I always feel like
kid.
If you were ever to see my text chains, like if my text ever got revealed, people would be like, "Yeah, okay." There'd be absolutely no shock involved in any of that because I do live my life privately and I speak privately the way I do on the air. It's pointless to try to hide who you are. If you have a problem, you really think you're a bad person, you should work on it because it's going to come out eventually.
Yes. So I'll put it to you this way. I went to a wedding that Ellen was at. There was a 30-piece orchestra and a world-class band. It was a world-class wedding. Every person was dancing except for Ellen. So does Ellen love dancing? Because if she loves dancing, it's like a Geico commercial. You're happier than Ellen at a wedding. Does she love dancing, or does she want you to think she loves dancing?
Exactly right. That's to the point where she incorporates it in every show, and you just watch her having fun and being a great host. And meanwhile, good luck finding anybody who has a nice word to say about her. Truly, I have yet to meet anybody.
I've talked to a lot of people who work on writing staffs and things like that. They all signed NDAs, so I can't say any names. But I had a guy tell me, worst person, and he goes, not the worst person I've ever worked for, the worst person I've ever met. I was
Wow.
like, wow,
Wow.
that's in Hollywood too. But
That's impressive.
Megyn,
All right, now
maybe that same person. I don't know. I don't know her. I don't know anyone who's worked for her, but I'm saying,
I mean, everybody, she fires everyone
okay,
or they quit.
all right.
She's reported to be a massive bully. There was a massive bullying report done about her
Oh.
by the palace. I mean, when the palace is doing hit pieces on you, you got stuff to worry about. You really got to look internally.
Oh.
There was like a little glimpse of it on that terrible, but now Emmy-nominated show,
Right.
where she, the one, was it Mindy Kaling who called her by the wrong last name, Meghan Markle, and you saw a little snap. We actually pulled it. Here it is, SOT 21.
I don't think anyone in the world knows that Meghan Markle has eaten Jack in the Box and
It's so
loves it.
funny too that you keep saying Meghan Markle. You know I'm Sussex now. You have kids and you go, no, I share my name with my children.
Yes.
And that feels so, I didn't know how meaningful it would be to me, but it just means so much to go, this is our family name.
Okay. If she had gotten married to some Joe Schmo and his last name was Humperdinck, was it Humperdinck? Engelbert, it wasn't Humperdinck. Okay, whatever. Yeah. She would not be saying that. That's not what happened. She took Sussex because it's the Duchess thing. It's royal. Who does she think she's kidding? And she's pissed. She doesn't want the Markle name used anymore, Adam, because of the children. That's really what it is. She would definitely be Meghan Humperdinck.
I believe, as long as we're exploring the actresses who act nice and are really mean and don't believe us, ask their staff or they fire, I'm going to go ahead and include Kamala Harris onto that Rushmore bitches. I believe she's horrible, and that's why she always does the laugh. She does the out of control laughter. She does the dance. She does the
yes.
Don't trust any of them.
And remember when she was talking to her sorority from Howard University, she's like, my soror. Meanwhile, there had been a report too that half of the staff when she was VP fled. They were trying to tamp that down in the news reports, but she could not keep a staff because she was so nasty. All the reports were that she would not prepare. Then she'd be embarrassed. Then she'd snap at the staff for not preparing her. It's like, you wouldn't do the reading. You didn't do the work. But out in public, it's my soror. You're like, no, you're right. Nasty bitch.
Yes.
I don't know if she's Mount Rushmore. For sure, Ellen's up there. Rosie's up there. Oh, yeah. Markle's up there. She could be the fourth.
And you know what's funny? They all hate Trump, but Trump is exactly who he is on camera and off camera. Is exactly the same person.
Yeah.
Never tries to.
And Trump actually does work to make most people like him. He actually does want your good opinion. Now, once you don't give it, even for a day or a week, he turns on you. But like in general, he approaches every relationship with good humor and a generally affable nature, I would say. He just doesn't like criticism. But he's not one of those guys like, don't look at me, no eye contact in the hall. Never. Not the opposite.
Well, also the other thing that's kind of interesting about him that none of these women that we've spoken about would do. Donald Trump actually has a lot of people in his cabinet, most of the people in the cabinet, who've said horrible things about him. Like you take a look at Marco.
His vice president.
Yes, vice president or someone. Marco Rubio is a superstar in the Trump cabinet. Marco Rubio has said he had small hands and called him Orange Man. And like he said horrible things. But he put all that aside because Marco Rubio is super effective and competent and would definitely help Trump's cause. So there's Marco Rubio or there's J.D. Vance. Could you imagine Kamala Harris if there was some woman that talked a bunch of shit about her constantly about, blowing her way to the top or, whatever horrible negative thing they said about Kamala Harris. Could you imagine her being elected president, putting that aside and bringing that woman into her cabinet?
Hell no. Oh, hell no. There's zero chance.
Zero.